Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gashi's Command to the Tallest Man in Black Africa. Why would the Americans intervene in Raila's meeting? Why would they be in so much hurry to stop Raila from continuing with a series of meetings that had been planned in this country? Why could they be so much interested in Kenya? You remember, even before the elections were carried out in August, the Americans knew the outcome of the elections. And already they had ruled out Raila Amolo Odinga, and they knew, according to them, that there would be riots in Kisumu because Raila was going to lose the elections. So when you look at this, you see something that is very, very interesting, something that would actually question. So when Raila Amolo Odinga and his Azimio Brigade called the Kamukoji meeting, the Americans were rattled. The Americans were not happy. And none other than the Secretary of State himself picked a phone call to call the leader of the opposition to stop this. And what was said by the minority leader, I think I don't agree with it. This is just a way of trying to save their face. Because, yes, Baba will be leaving to America because he is the chair of the infrastructure in Africa. But this one is something that is put there for it to distract Raila Amolo Odinga and to show that for sure there is need to postpone this meeting because of this important meeting in, I think, America, which in my view is just a red herring. So I want us to look at the reason why America had to stop Baba. Why lazima waigilia jambo hili kwa sababu lilikuwa ni jambo ambalo kulingana nao haligelikuwa na matokeo ya kupendeza sana. The first reason, according to me, is the fear of riots. They thought that the way Raila had started, this thing would finally degenerate into riots, something that would be very hard to contain. So they moved very fast and they had to stop him. Again, they know Raila Amolo Odinga is a magnet. They know that Raila Amolo Odinga, when he starts something, he doesn't stop until that thing is finished. Yeye ni kama dudu vule, haachi mpaka utoboe mti. Sijui kama unamjua yule dudu vule ambaye hutoboa miti hasa bao na hawezi akaacha mpaka utoboe. Huyo ndiye Raila Amolo Odinga, and that is why they had to stop him. Again, the second reason, the issue of GMO is a hot issue. The GMO, William Samoei Ruto had agreed to open the market, the Kenyan market, for the American to bring their GMO here in Kenya. And even the pharmaceutical companies had seen an opening because you realize that many countries in Africa, including Rwanda and Burundi, Uganda and many others, do not agree with the GMO. I think it's only in South Africa that GMO are around. So what is happening is that Raila Amolo Odinga started campaigning against the GMO, and he rallied his troops. And one of the area of disagreement was the GMO, and many people are in support of Raila Amolo Odinga as the GMO is concerned. Kwa hili jambo lingine ambalo limewafanya wakose usigizi, and they had to intervene. You know, the Americans will always go for their interest. It is their interest and nothing else. American interest comes first before any other interest. The other thing is that when you look at William Samoei Ruto could have actually sought assistance from the Americans. He could have maybe gone for them, like alitaka kusaidiwa because he knows very well that Baba is an international man, is somebody who is highly rated in international circles. So he knew very well that if America was to intervene, if America was to stop Baba, then he would hear and he would comply. And for sure, if he's the one who sought the assistance of the Americans, this was a first one. And I think he succeeded in this. Remember also, William Samoei Ruto is also a very shrewd politician. And politics is a game. and it depends on who is seeing far than the other. The other reason is because of the hustlers' funds. When we had Baba telling people not to pay the hustlers' funds because waliambiwa wachukue na wasilipe, wanunue nyama za Krismasi, nyama ya Krismasi kwa sababu wengi hawana chochote. I think this did not augur well with the Western nations because I don't think they are for this idea. Remember, Americans practice total capitalism, whereas Baba is a social democrat. What there is that when Baba started telling Kenyans not to pay their loans, and remember, the Americans, the Britons have so many banks, have so many financial institutions in this country. I think they have to get rattled. That's why they are very much afraid because of this kind of narrative, because it is going to interfere with their interest. Remember, I said their interest comes first more than any other interest. Again, when you look at that meeting, it was a surprise. It was a shock to many. The massive support that Azimio got in Kamukoji. Remember, it was on a weekday. Remember, it was just after a short notice. Na watu walitokeza kwa maelfu na maelfu. Ni jambo ambalo liwashtua sana hata viongozi wa Kenya Kwanza. The Uda administration was shocked. America was shocked. And they realized that unajua umoja ni nguvu, tukubaliane ukweli na utengano ni dhaifu. Kwa kilichopo ni kwamba when people are united, they can be able to do so much. They can be able to move mountains. And when they are divided, they can be beaten by a housefly. Kwa kile ambacho kipo ni kwamba hili jambo lingine ambalo liliwashangaza sana. And for them, they saw that it's like 2027 elections, the campaigns have just begun. Na ni jambo ambalo liwashtua sana. There is also the issue of stability, especially of East and Central Africa. Remember, Kenya is very, very stable as far as we are concerned. Remember, Kenya is very, very peaceful. Even after the contested elections, people were able to maintain peace. People were able to move on with their business. Despite the fact that the elections were rigged, despite the fact that Azimio Brigade won the elections but were rigged out, despite the fact that Azimio was declared a minority party, in spite of having the majority of MPs in the National Assembly, the country continued to enjoy peace. So, by the fact that the Kenyans were starting to agitate for their freedoms, because remember, Baba was talking about now the total freedom, the true freedom, because what we have now is a struggle for liberation, because we have now the third liberation that is taking place. So this is something that the Americans do not like. Now, because for them, I've said again, their interest comes first, and they have no interest other than their stability. Remember, they have invested heavily in Africa through infrastructure projects, through financial institutions, many companies. So that is why they had to intervene. Again, Kenya plays a pivotal role as far as terrorist war is concerned. Kenya has its KDF, its soldiers in America, in Somalia, again in the DRC. And now, when we see now Kenya itself being involved in tug of war, political pushover, it is something that doesn't augur well with the Americans. It is something that said shockwaves down the spines of the Biden administration, kwa sababu ukiangalia utaona kwamba ni kumaanisha kwamba no much attention be given to the war on terrorism, something that they don't like, kwa sababu ukiangalia utapata kwamba if the situation was to continue, kwa sababu ukiangalia utaona Kenya is divided for sure. Let's agree, Kenya is divided hopelessly. Lakini kile ambacho kipo ni kwamba watu wana dhamini amani sana. Kenyans know how to keep peace. And that's why in the Kamukoji meeting, there was no violence. In the Kamukoji meeting, people were peaceful. In the Kamukoji meeting, nobody could raise a finger against the other. Although there's a lot of disagreement, hatukuona ya kwamba watu wakizozana, wakitoa fujo, and even the police had nothing to do. They had to keep a distance. Kwa hivyo hili ni jambo lingine ambalo limewatisha sana wa Marekani, na they had to intervene. They had to cool down Baba. They had to come up with a way to stop these rallies which were gaining momentum very fast. Again, I think there was the intelligence information. The intelligence information could have shown something that maybe even Kenya government was not aware. Remember, Americans' intelligence is on another scale. They are very, very skilled when it comes to, and they are very, very effective when it comes to intelligence information. And normally, they are even able to know even before something happens. So they have invested so much in the intelligence. Because when you really look at Baba, I think there was more than meets the eye. These meetings could not have ended in just rallies, in just Kamukuji. There must be the final picture, the final goal that they wanted to score, Baba wanted to score. And maybe it is this thing that Baba was able to maybe habari zikajulikana zikatokea na again they had to intervene, because if they not intervene, maybe something bad could have happened, maybe to this country, or maybe to Africans in general, maybe even to our leaders. So I think they had to come up with a way to stop the Azimio from continuing with these rallies. Again, when you look at that meeting that Baba is saying that he's going to attend in USA of infrastructure, you see, you ask yourself questions. Why did they not know that they were attending these meetings? Why cancel the meeting at the last minute? So politics is a game of numbers, as I've said, and politics is very, very interesting. And it is only in politics that the country can be able to know the directions that our leaders are taking us to. Ukiangalia utaona kwamba Americans are very, very much interested in Kenyan politics. They are poking their nose everywhere. And that is why you see even the Ruto administration clinging towards the West, because like now they are not interested with China again when it comes to ile misaada, when it comes to donations, when it comes to loans. I understand they are even pleading for bigger loans. And I don't know what to think, because if you ask me, that is why Americans stopped Raila from continuing the series of meetings. And I think Raila is going to slow down from here. And you can only get this information from Gashis Kaman to the Tourist Man Black Africa. Can you subscribe to our channel? And may you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.